Hey everyone, welcome back to Ronin's Den. I'm Steve, that's Eric. We're doing another Fabula Ultima class breakdown. Today, we're doing the Orator. The Orator is someone who talks, an ambassador, a diplomat, an entertainer. Yeah, Eric, what are your thoughts?
Um, I think a lot of these are round out skills that you'll take to give to your character after you've already got the majority of your build figured out. There are things in here that are pretty helpful and nice, but they introduced another class in the High Fantasy Atlas called the Chanter that I think does the talking bits better.
Yeah. So as always, with every class, you get some free benefits. This one gives you 5 additional mind points. Then we go into the skills. The first skill is Condemn. You may use an action to spend 5 mind points to perform an opposed insight plus willpower check against a creature that you can hear and can understand you. Describe your accusations. If you succeed, the target loses this skill level times 10 mind points and suffers dazed or shaken. Your choice. You gain a bonus equal to your skill level to your insight plus willpower checks for this skill. What are you accusing them of? Oh, you make it up. And if you do, they lose a bunch of mind points and get dazed or shaken. No negative here, but it's kind of a weirdly worded spell or skill. I don't know what prompts it is kind of my thing. It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, dazed and shaken are nice status effects. Um, and I think this is one of those classes where most of the skills are just going to be synergistic. If you have like Rogue that relies on having a status effect, or Dark Knight, something, one of your other skills requires your target to have a status effect on them. This is a good way to drop a status effect on your target to set yourself up for one of those skills, or set one of your teammates up for it, while getting a little bit of an extra bonus for the mind point drain, which could be good if you're facing like primarily a magic casting villain or enemy. Way to drain those mind points away. The only other way to attack mind points directly, if I'm remembering right, is drain spirit from the entropist. So yeah. The next skill is going to be Encourage. During a conflict, you may use an action and spend 5 mind points to choose another creature that can hear you and understand you. That creature recovers skill level times 5 hit points and chooses Dexterity, Insight, Might, or Willpower. They treat the chosen attribute as being 1 die size higher, up to a maximum of a d12, until the start of your next turn. This is actually a good skill. As we're learning in Welcome to Capiterra, healing is mandatory. Sometimes a healer might just want to run a healing chain, and it always helps to have somebody else that can throw an extra heal out when necessary. And then boosting that die size can really make the difference between misses or hits with attacks, and it can boost that damage up significantly if that high roll is that d12. So this one, I like this skill. I think this can synergize with any class, and it works well just standalone.
I definitely agree. I think this is the best ability in this class, or the best skill in this class. The thing that makes it really, really good to me is that if you max it out, that is 30 30 health healed for 5 mind points. The Spiritist spends a ton of mind points healing. And this class can just go, yeah, 5, I heal you 30. Granted, it's a single target, but still. Then, like you said, being able to boost up an attribute at the same time that you're healing that person, it's so good. Like, there is no negative here. gives a little bit of additional healing when you need it, and you're buffing some allies. You can't beat it. The next one is My Trust in You. Another player character who is able to hear you performs a check. When they perform a check, you may spend 1 Fabula point and invoke one of their traits or bonds in order to let them re-roll dice or improve the result of the check following the normal rules. Then, if you have a bond towards that character, they also recover the skill level times 10 mind points. A person in our game, welcome to Capiterra, has this ability, and it's been kind of clutch, right? If a person misses, you are able to spend a Fabula point, invoke one of their traits and bonds, and let them re-roll or add to the number to make it not a miss. And then on top of it, they get mind points back. Being able to help the caster and give them mind points back, which could potentially be 20 mind points, is pretty good. But once again, it's limited by that number of Fabula points you have. And there are a lot of times you come into a game and only have 1 Fabula point. So it's kind of that, it's good. I don't think it's great, but it's good.
Yeah, I agree. It's good. It's not great. It's good. I think the best part about this skill, though, is it's the only way that you can pool and share Fabula points to in any manner. So if somebody is out of Fabula points and they would do that, hey, I'm going to invoke my bond. I'm going to invoke my trait. Crap, I have no Fabula points. Oh, wait, I got one. Here, let me do my trust in you, and you can use one of my Fabula points. It's the only time you can share that resource. Just like inventory points, there's no sharing typically. This is a workaround on the rules.
Definitely.
The next skill is going to be Persuasive. When you successfully perform a check to fill in or erase a section of a clock, if your approach relied on charm, diplomacy, deception, or intimidation, your talkie skills, you may spend up to skill level times 20 mind points. If you do, fill in or erase 1 additional section of that clock for every 20 mind points spent in this way. Okay, 20 mind points is a lot of mind points. That is not cheap. But being able to either erase or fill in that much of a clock, it might not matter. Spending 40 mind points might fill that clock entirely on 1 skill check. It might be the last 3 that you need in order to do it. But it's so resource heavy that I would be very leery of using the skill with any amount of regularity.
Yeah, it is definitely a Hail Mary thing, right? Being able to fill in, it is 3 sections of a clock if you spend those 40 mind points. Because you get your initial success, then you fill in 2 additional. You're filling in 3 sections of a clock. If you have a 4-section clock, you've done 75% of it like that. But as you said, that is a huge resource drain. You are depleting your mind points. And if you know you may have 1 or 2 more encounters coming up, if you're low on inventory points, this could be a make or break thing. This could be the difference between a successful day and a non-successful day if done the wrong way. But at the same time, it could also be the difference between succeeding on this clock and failing on this clock. So it's one of those high risk, high reward abilities that we've talked about with other classes. I would be leery of taking this unless you're throwing this on top of something that doesn't use mind points. Like having this in conjunction with the Guardian, who doesn't use mind points for anything. Having this in conjunction with the Weapon Master or the Fury, who doesn't really use a lot of those mind points. It could be good, but if you're using it with a class that needs a lot of mind points, I would not be taking this.
Agreed.
Finally, the last ability that Eric and I kind of have differing opinions on is Unexpected Ally. You may use an action and spend 1 Fabula point to choose a non-hostile creature able to hear and understand you. If you do, that creature becomes helpful towards you so long as you are kind and respectful to them and your requests are reasonable. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay. Personally, I don't see the point of the skill as it's designed here. If I'm being kind and respectful to somebody, or say I'm playing my Chimerist and I use beast speech, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you're doing, if you're being kind and respectful to anything that can see, hear, and understand you, and you make a reasonable request, you should get that request granted. Like, hey, I'm running away from these bandits. Could you please tell me, like, where a good place to hide is? Or, hey, could you maybe look the other way while I go do this thing? And you could just do a standard skill check for this. I would be more of a fan of this ability if it was something that you could temporarily turn a hostile creature to non-hostile. Bring them over to your side for a limited amount of time. Kind of like the Orator class from Final Fantasy Tactics, where you talk to the enemies and recruit them to your army. I know you're on the opposite end on this one for me.
See, when you put it that way, I can't really refute it. I like the vibe and the feel of this ability, right? I don't know how I can refute what you're saying, but it's more of like, maybe you're in a fight and you're losing, and this is that spend a Fabula point for that Hail Mary, that help, and suddenly someone appears in a coat of armor. Is like, I'm here to help you. I happen to be walking by.
But you could do that with
But
a normal Fabula
really
point anyway, with inject a story element.
like, yeah, thinking about it, this class, or this ability, this skill is just kind of meh. Yeah, it's not that great now that we've thought about it and talked about it. But anyway, so yeah, that's the Orator. It's interesting. I don't know that I would pick it very often or very much. As you said, I think the Chanter kind of does a lot of this stuff better, but it's not bad. It's not great. It's just kind of okay. Yeah, what are your final thoughts on it? And then you can take us out.
Pretty much what you said. It's not great. It's not bad. It's got a couple skills in there that, flavor wise adds something to it. That one where you can heal by telling people, like the encourage one, that one's my favorite ability in this class. But this isn't a class that I would personally build around. I don't see it being a good centerpiece, but more like a good filler, maybe a 4th class or a 5th class in your build.
Definitely agreed.
All right. So, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Nope, you pretty much said everything I thought.
All right. So, that has been another Fabula Ultima dive into one of the classes, this time being the Orator. We're going to be continuing to do these. We're almost through the core book. The next one, we're going to decide which atlas we'll start with. And if you have any character build ideas, we're looking to start doing those. So if you have suggestions on characters you'd like to see, put them down in the comments section. We love to build them using Fabula Ultima's rule system. We've been asking not to get the like Goku type characters, the world breakers, because they don't really fit with the vibe of Fabula Ultima, but also the skills just aren't of that power level either. There's no way to mimic a Spirit Bomb or a Final Flash in this game. But as always, it's been a blast. We're going to be doing a video here shortly on rituals because we've been talking about them with a lot of the classes. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll catch you next time on Fabula Ultima Deep Dives of classes. My name's Eric, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Steve. Take care and good night.